right, we'll go ahead and get started. We're joined by Coach Fedora and quarterback Marquise Williams. Coach, if you could start us off with the opening statement.
Yeah, we didn't get it done tonight, obviously. So we got to give a lot of credit to Baylor and what they accomplished tonight. They were the better team out there on the field tonight.
All right, we'll open it up to Q&A. If you could please find someone with a microphone. We are using court reporters tonight. We'll provide a full transcript of the interview.
Did you guys have any idea coming into this that offense for Baylor would manifest itself the way it did today?
No, I didn't believe they would run for 645 yards. Actually, no, I didn't ever think that. No.
What was the challenge trying to prepare for them, knowing we hadn't seen Chris Johnson that much?
Well, we thought they would throw the ball more than they did. You know, we probably were going to need to, throughout the entire game, put more people in the box. We didn't think that they would run the ball like they did. We didn't think they would have that kind of success. We've got to give the guys credit for what they did. They played a lot of guys at the position, and they haven't had a plan.
Coach Fedora,
Yes.
what went through your mind and what did you choose to do differently after the fumble in the third quarter?
Well, I mean, it was nothing that we did differently. We knew we were down at that point, and we were going to have to. We were going in to score, and they turned around and took it on the next play and took it back, 80 yards. So it was a 14-point swing on one play, basically. We didn't take care of the football going in the end zone. I mean, it's just we drove the ball right down the field, did what we thought we could do, and as we go to put it in the end zone, we turned it over. Just turned the ball over and it turned into a 14-point swing.
What was the main challenge of stopping them in the game? Why were they so effective repeatedly? Everything was the same.
Yeah, a lot of things. I mean, a lot of guys not being where they needed to be in their gaps. We had missed tackles in the open field that we had to make and we didn't make, and we just they blocked us and we didn't get all blocks. So it's just as simple as that.
Coach, knowing they were missing your quarterbacks, what was your expectation of their offensive game plan?
What was the expectation of our offensive game plan or their?
Their offensive game plan.
Yeah, we thought they would do basically what they had been doing. We thought they would throw it around a little bit more. We knew that the quarterback 13 would run it a little bit more with the quarterback runs, and that's what we were expecting. And they all they did was come out and just run it down and throw. They may have had the same game plan, but when they realized they could just continue to run the football, there was no need to throw it.
Larry, with Keeney calling the plays and you said you'd be more involved, how did that process go? Was there any hiccups at all?
No, I really didn't feel like there were any hiccups. We did it basically the way we've been doing it, where we talked about what we wanted to do in between the series with the scripts, and then he called. It was not. I never thought it was an issue.
Marquise, this is a bit more macro. When you evaluate the seasons that this team has had, in what ways is this bowl game an appropriate or an inappropriate finish to this season?
I mean, it was something I always dreamed of. We got to a bowl game. It's tough because we lost as seniors, but it's been a fun ride. It's been a fun ride for us seniors and the whole team. Wish that was something. We're building something, and I'm excited to see what the guys bring next year to the table because they're going to they're going to be greedy for more. They're going to see what we lost the last two and how we was hurting. They're just going to be ready to go next year for those guys.
Marquise, when you see their offense running up and down the field in camp, basically scoring every time they got the ball, how much more pressure does that put on your offense to match that?
Not really pressure, just keeping the guys positive on the sidelines. If they're going to outscore, we have to answer. And that was the thing we wanted to do. We wanted to answer every time they make a stop. Defense make a stop. We tell them congratulations. Now we just need to go score. And that's what's different about this team this year. We got each other back. Nobody's going to go back and forth and saying, "Hey, you guys can't stop nobody." None of that. That wasn't the case this year. Everybody's still by each other's side. And we, like I said, we always got each other back.
Coach,
Yes.
how much of it was scheme? How much of it was just the simple fact that you guys were just dominated the line of scrimmage?
How much of it was scheme and how much of it was that we were dominated in the line of scrimmage?
Yes.
Let's say 50-50.
50-50.
How about that?
Your answer.
Larry, how do you kind of reconcile what happened tonight in the context of the season, winning 11 straight at one point, breaking through?
Yeah, there was a lot, I mean, yes, we had a lot of positive things happen with this football team this year. And we came a long way to, when we think back to where we were January 6th and feeling, about our program and what was going on in our program from the outside. I couldn't be more proud of this football team, our senior class and what the legacy that they're leaving, what they accomplished this year. And they set a new standard, for the guys in that locker room. So those guys in the locker room, the younger guys, the guys that are all going to be back, they know what it takes now. They know what has to be done. The classes that we're recruiting, they know what the new standard is. What they're going to be measured against is this 15 team. And so we know we've got to do, as a coaching staff, what we'll do is we'll come back in, we'll evaluate, just like we do every year. We'll see what we have to tweak, what we have to adjust, and hopefully we're going to be a better football team next year than we were this year.
Marcus, your nature is to smile, and you were all smiles after the game. Were you already kind of compartmentalizing that this was just one game and the whole experience at Carolina was something much more positive?
I'm always going to be positive. Always going to smile because I'm blessed. I had an opportunity to play with one of the best teams, and my teammates, my brothers, they gave me an opportunity to come out and beat those guys. And I'm too blessed to be stressed. Lose is a lose, but I'm still happy that I have the opportunity to get to a bowl game with these guys. And we have a great coaching staff, a great team this year, and I'm going to keep smiling. That's just who I am.
Marquise, you talked a lot about next year's team trying to take that next step. Despite the losses in the last 2 games, you think those were necessary to be able to play against elite level teams to see what's needed to make that next step?
Those guys just see that we struggled the last 2, but they come out the way we want to play. But the guys we got to return next year, it's exciting. We got a whole defense coming back, and then you got Mr. Bishop coming at quarterback. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what those guys bring for next year. I know they're going to win way more games than 11 games, I tell you that.
Coach, in the last 2 games, statistical differences with Clemson and then tonight, yet there you guys were at the end of the ACC title game. And then tonight, if you take away one play, you're kind of in position to still win a game like that. How close does that say that your program is to being in a position where even if everything isn't right, you can still beat teams like Clemson and Baylor?
Yeah, I mean, you can go back and look at our season, and really, I mean, we're just 4 or 5 plays away from playing in that playoffs and continuing to play. So we feel like as a program, we're not that far away. We're really not that far away, and I think our guys understand that now, and I think maybe our fans understand that now for the first time. The vision that we've been talking about and selling for the last 4 years, they're seeing it come to fruition right before their eyes. They're like, wow, this can happen at Carolina. Why not Carolina? And we've been saying that for 4 years, and now I think people are starting to understand that, you know what, we can be as good as anybody else in the country.
Now, as we out just before the game about this concussion, how long did you guys have to prepare for not having that defensive tackle?
Say that, I'm sorry.
Nazir Jones.
Nazir Jones.
How much preparation did you have without him? When did his concussion happen?
Yeah, he practiced, I believe, Tuesday of this week, part of the practice, and then something started coming back on Wednesday, and so that's when we were going to play. Yeah. I say, let me make sure I correct myself. Tuesday, Wednesday practice. I have no idea what days. Today is Saturday for me. Yesterday was Friday, so whatever day that was, it was our Tuesday, Wednesday practice is what I meant. So I can't tell you what day it was. I don't even know if we've had a Tuesday or